I'm Dr. Denise Simmons Graves, and I'd like to share a few thoughts with you about successful college students as compared to their struggling peers. I have some experience with both types of students, and I just want to take a few minutes and share some insights. The behaviors and attitudes of successful versus struggling college students are really different. Successful students understand they create the outcomes that they have, as compared to struggling students who blame others um, and assume that others have control over their life and their outcomes. They blame leaders, they blame fate, they blame luck. There's a lot of blame to go around, and struggling students perceive themselves as victims. Additional behaviors and attitudes with regard to successful students and struggling students is that successful students have their own motivation, and they see situations and themselves from a positive source, and they're happy to be involved in whatever their new situation or adventure is. Struggling students, on the other hand, cast a shadow on their situation and are often lethargic, not motivated, pessimistic, depressed, which can all lead to self-fulfilling prophecies. Successful students are able to find joy in moving toward satisfying their personal goals and dreams, as compared to their peers who are struggling, who have difficulty knowing where to start and what steps to take in order to reach their end result. They often are not interested in doing the research necessary it takes to get to where they want to go. They expect to be told step by step what to do, and they often don't have much initiative. Another set of traits that distinguish successful students from struggling students is that successful students understand the value and benefit of joining clubs and organizations. Struggling students like to go solo and are not interested in meeting up with other people who don't see the benefit and don't think other people could be of any benefit to them. Successful students are a bit more self-aware than struggling students, and they're concerned about the well-being of other people. They speak and they act by way of being mindful of the sensitivities of others, whereas struggling students really suffer from a sense of arrested development and are really stuck in a particular pattern that they've developed some time ago, and aren't interested in busting out of that. Successful students see learning as something that will happen to them, with them, for the rest of their life. And they're really curious and interested in knowing lots of things, want to acquire lots of new skills. And struggling students have no real interest in new knowledge and no real interest in new skills, and thus society will pass them by. And finally, successful students control their temperament. They understand that going off on someone, particularly someone of influence or in a higher position than they, will not benefit them. And so it's important to be temperate in their moderate in their temperament. Struggling students are very volatile in their emotional setup, and that's not helpful. And last, successful students have very strong self-concepts. They understand what their goals are and don't mind working toward them, whereas struggling students really feel inadequate and don't feel as if they have the tools or abilities to accomplish their goals. So in the final analysis, you have to decide um, how you intend to proceed, whether you intend to adopt the behaviors of successful students, or whether you might be a struggling student right now but want to be a successful student. And you can take some time to reflect on these 8 sets of attributes and how you might begin to modify your mindset, because it begins with your mind and then is actualized through your behavior, to become more successful. I wish you all the best, and I'm looking to work with you a lot. Goodbye.